Hello and welcome to how I play my level 50 Shadowknight. This is a setup guide just to cover how I play my character, just give people a good general idea of what you need to do when playing Shadow. So again, this is how I do it. Might not be the best way to do it, but your mileage may vary. Anyway, so this is Hobbs. He is my level 50 Shadow Knight in the Hobbs and Friends series that I do. You can watch how he plays and how I play him inside of all those videos and whatnot. So he's level 50 now, and he's pretty well geared. So this is probably not going to be that applicable to TLP servers. This is mostly going to be applicable to live servers or TLP servers that have all the spells. Now, a early Shadow Knight does not have as many spells as this that are useful. Let's just be honest here. So we'll kind of go to that. We'll talk about my spells. We'll talk about how I have my X target set up and how I have a multi-bind set up so that I can use IS Boxer to box this very easily. All right, so step one, I have Spear of Pain. This is my first spell. This is a level 48 spell. I do not know what expansion it came in, but it's probably like around Luckland or later when these came in. It's not a Velius or Kunark spell. So this does it's a 0.5 second cast time, 325 damage. A spear nuke, right? So you go like this, boom, it's on there. It has a almost minute recast time. So you're not casting it very often, but it is a definite spell you want in your lineup. Lots of aggro out of that. Probably like once a fight, you're getting it off at, a 40, 45, 60, 50 second recast time on that. So, always use your spear. Next up, I have Terror of Shadows, which is it's a taunt. It's an instant cast taunt spell. So if we look here, just cast that, boom, instantly cast. It's a 5 second recast time, so you can do this multiple times. I had it set and I switched some spells around, but it's what I kind of pull with at the moment. Sometimes I pull the life tap, sometimes I body pull, but it is a good spell. I use it constantly in my rotation. It's in my multi-bind. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Then we have Life Leech. This is our highest level life tap that we have currently. It does 220 hit points. So every time I cast this, I get 220 hit points back, and I do 228 points of damage. So it's definitely worth casting as much as possible. Then I have Dooming Darkness. This is our highest level snare we have at the moment. It just snares it. Does a little bit of damage. What is that, like 20 every 6 seconds? So I've been fighting in Charduk, so snaring things has been kind of important. So good reason to have that up. If you're playing, you're gonna want to keep stuff snared at all times. Lower the damage you take. Next up, I have Dark Temptation. This is a self buff right here. Just buffs me up with. This will eventually become a mana leech, like the Necromancer leech line, but right now it increases my attack for draining my health. I'm so geared out right now that I don't even notice the loss of health from this, but I do notice the gain in attack, so it's worth casting and keeping that up. Next, I have Scream of Death. Gives your attacks a vampiric property for 20 minutes, allowing you to steal life from the target. And I just keep this up. Eventually, it becomes a part of a line of spells that will be a part of our Unity spell that we get, which will just cast all our self buffs. But if we kind of go over here to this combat dummy, I can kind of show it off here. I'm not going to cast anything on it until it procs. I don't have any proc weapons at the moment. I should probably go get the Wolfenite gem, but I have not done that yet. So there we go. Scream of Death, 25 point life tap on melee attacks. It's not like really that great in all honesty, but it's a level 37 spell. Eventually it gets upgraded to something fantastic. I just have it there because I couldn't think of anything else to put there. But it's good. Then I have Voice of Shadow, so I want to keep this buff on me at all times. Increases your target, so me, my voice to cause more notice of their attacks for 10 minutes. Now this is kind of it's a taunting. It increases aggro, right? So you can put it on anybody and they'll get more aggro. You're going to want to put this on your tank, most likely you if you're a Shadowknight and you're tanking. Like most of the time, Shadowknights are tanks and group content. So there we go. And then I have Feign Death here at the end, just for whatever reason I like to have it there. But yeah, that's the spells I run. I don't really switch these out at all. Like it's gonna be like these spells. Eventually, I'll have little hot buttons like where's the like this, where I can just click this button and it'll change it. I haven't set any of those up yet because a lot of these spells change so rapidly at this level. I'm just gonna kind of wait on it. I'm leveling so fast that it really doesn't even matter. Like I'm I've been AFK for a while, so this character has a day playtime. Most of that has been AFK, so he's already 50. The leveling is gone extremely fast for this character. He's on episode 2 of his series, so, and he's already 50. So, and I'm not power leveling him. I gave him some gear. So that's what it ends up being right there. But for hotbar right now, very simple hotbar. All my characters have the same UI for the most part, and they have the same kind of gist of how I run things. I'll kind of explain that. Extended target is very important to this how I run everything, because this is how I get targets. This is how I do a lot of things. So all 6 characters I run have their extended target the exact same order. Every character is listed there, and then at the bottom, an X target 20. I have whoever's set as the tank. So if I set the tank to Hobbs here, he's now the tank, and every single character now has Hobbs down at the bottom. So if I do X target 20 on any of my characters, boom, that's who gets the whatever I do with X target 20. At X target 19, I have the group assists target. So Hobbs is set as the assist, so anything I target will show up there on the assist automatically. So I can set macros and stuff like that to X target 19, and they will automatically assist, and I don't have to like pause or wait or anything like that. So that's just how that works. So when I go over inside of these macros, if it shows up yet, that's how it works. But if you watch the later videos, like at 125 and stuff like that, you'll see I'm going to be making heavy use of these. So I have a hide corpse macro, so this just gets rid of corpses. It's on the same place on all my characters. Having a bunch of corpses laying around just lags the client. I don't know why, but it does. So hiding those every so often is good. I also have forage in there, but I don't have forage ability at the moment, just from when I copied a UI over, so it's just there. It's whatever right now. So I have Dooming Darkness. I single target cast this whenever I need to snare. I just hit 3. No one else has anything actions on 3. On 4, we have our multi-bind buttons. 4 and 5 are my multi-bind buttons for all my characters. 4 for most of them excludes, I believe, the shaman at the moment, but everything else is in that multi-bind. And then everybody does their actions on 5. So that means when I push 4 or 5, whatever is on 4 or 5 for all these characters gets activated and whatnot. And so if we go down here to these 2 bottom hotbars, you'll see that I have Taunt, Terror of Shadows, and Life Leech in that. So if I come over here and I hit 4, I'm just hitting it once. He taunted and cast Terror of Shadows, right? Do it again. Terror Shadows, do it again, a life leech, right? So whatever's available first, he's gonna cast. I'm just all I'm doing is hitting 4 on the keyboard, nothing else. There's no automation software, only ISBoxer for repeating keys to all the windows. That's all I use. And I just hit 4 over and over again. I can spam it as fast as I want, and that's how that works. He's gonna constantly cast all those spells in this multibind here, right? As we level, there'll be more and more things here. There'll be AAs, there'll be other spells and whatnot, but this is pretty much how that works. Now, you don't even, like, if you're playing one character, this still works. This is just, this is the most efficient way to use it with ISBoxer. But it's also, in certain cases, probably one of the most efficient ways to play a single character. Depending on your class and how you want to operate some abilities, right? You can hit one button, activate all these. Eventually we'll have these all timed out so that each one is going off at a certain time. If you watch my 125 Paladin video, you'll see how his setup is, and he does the exact same thing. In this setup, like, he's always life tapping and he's always taunting and he's always doing this. So that's his job, is to tank. So that's how his multibind works. It's very rare right now, but you know, we're only level 50. We don't have all our abilities yet. So 4 and 5 are the multibind buttons. Over here I have a 0. So this is sit other. So it's just a reminder key. It does nothing. But when I hit 0, all the other clients via ISBoxer, when I have key maps on, will sit, right? Except for the Bard and the Beast Lord, because I don't want them to sit because it messes things up when I try to sit casters, but whatnot. Then I have J boots here. All my characters have J boots, so they can all activate their J boots at the same time. Doesn't really matter as much now that the Shaman has Spirit of the Baligi, but it doesn't really matter. And then here we have our mount, which is whatever this is. And since he's a Shadowknight, it's insta-cast. And look at this thing. Look at this. Look at how big he is. Like, this is crazy. I love it. It's fun. But this, I don't typically use the mount during combat or anything like that, but it gives us the mount buff. Neza, which gives us 4,700 hit points and endurance, mana, all that stuff. It gives us everything good and increases our mana regeneration significantly. You can see if we go stats, we're at 56 mana regen. Go this 67. So if you mount up, you get faster regen. You can only mount in outdoor zones, so it's a little bit limited in old world content. But as you get into the newer world content where more stuff is outdoor, you can mount more and more often. All right, so that's that bar. And then here on numpad 1, so I have an MMO mouse. There's just tons of videos on my channel about how I use MMO mouses, but this mouse has 12 buttons on it. And for numpad 1, I use the Terror of Shadows spell. And that is kind of like a pull. So if I'm like, the key repetition is on still. So if they're just gonna fight that. So if I'm like, if I'm running, I'm pulling, I can just hit that instantaneously, pull it, and then back, right? It works out pretty well for me, but your mileage may vary. Then I don't have anything here on 2, 3, and 4, but on 5, I have Feign Death. Later on, we'll get an AA version of this. It's instant, and we'll switch that out. But like, I haven't had to use a Feign Death in any action yet. I just kill everything. But it's a good kind of like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have an issue with this pull. Might as well Feign Death and get rid of that. So that'll, you know, make everything that's currently fighting you stop fighting you. Kind of like makes them think you're dead. They'll usually run back to their bind after a few minutes, but just depends. It's hard to get off with this version because if there's a caster mob and it hits you while you're down, you're not gonna feign. But it's a good spell nonetheless. Pair that with snare, you can do some really cool not kiting, but splitting of mobs. So if I like snare this mob right here, and then I run like over here, right? Well, snare got resisted, but so I run over here, I feign death, and there's like all these other mobs. The snared one is going to stay there longer. Everything else is going to go back. So then you can then come and tag that one and bring him back. Like I'll be showing this in action in the actual series, and you'll see how some of this works. A little harder to do at this lower level, but it's definitely doable. Especially when you get the instant AA that just totally wipes aggro instantly. When you get that, it's so easy to split things. So let's stop these guys. Right. They're just going to stand there. But that's that bar. And then here I have some teleporters and stuff like that. This is basic stuff. Throne of Heroes is an AA that allows you to teleport back to guild lobby. Probably my most used AA of all. Drunkenstein. This will... so I can here, I'll just do it this way. It's probably easier. I don't want to accidentally teleport to there. So if I click, I don't want to right click it because that'll teleport. So let's duck. There we go. Let's duck so I won't cast. Drunken Wandering. This will teleport us back to a bar in Plane of Knowledge. Great thing. I've done some videos on doing this quest on the series or on the channel. Anyway. The Fellowship Registration Insignia will teleport us back to our campfire. If you hit Control-Alt-F, you can see your Fellowship, and then you can see if you have a camp up. Click on your camp, it'll tell you kind of where it's at. Current camp location, the Burning Woods. Oh, because I was in Shadowknight. So, there you go. And you can see all the people in your Fellowship. There is, I think I have videos on doing this. I don't know if I have a specific video on how to set up a Fellowship. But that sounds like a video I should probably make, so we'll probably do that sooner or later. But you can see all the characters in the Fellowship can share XP, they can do all kinds of stuff. Personas are included in that also. Then I have the Northern Outlook device, which will teleport us to North Row, right outside the tower, Anniversary Tower for Year of Darkpaw. This is a fantastic item. Definitely what you should get it. You got it for free, I think, in February, but now you can buy it for $10 here. It's a little cheaper though, I guess. So it's like $8.99 after the fact. It's cheaper actually if you buy more tokens. Like I just like that's the token ratio for most of them. I think you can get the tokens a little bit cheaper if you buy more, but it is what it is. And then the primary anchor here and the secondary anchor, the same thing. They teleport you to wherever your anchor's set, which can be your house, or in my case, it is here in the guild lobby, or not guild lobby, my guild hall. If we go up here, all these little anchors on the floor, that's all my characters' anchors, and anybody else who's in my guild here on Verant Interactive, they can put their anchor there also, and it teleports you back. It's a great little thing. 2 of those, you buy those from the loyalty merchant in Plane of Knowledge by the Crescent Reach zone line. So that's all the teleporters I have at the moment. I'll probably get more. Then I have a hotkey here for doing DZs. These are old raid DZs mostly. So you target the agent to change, say ready, say location, say place, say travel, and that'll one of those will get you inside the agent to change. And then down here I have the 2 bars for all the multi-binds that we will have eventually. Now, one thing I don't have on here that I don't know why it's not there. I guess it cleared the bar at some point. Lessons of the Devout should be on my bar right here. This is a fantastic ability. It gives you 100% experience for 30 minutes. Great way to burn. You'll hear people say burn your lesson. Good way, like you're going to be doing a lot of grinding on mobs. Definitely throw that out and do that. There's a whole bunch of other abilities, but I don't really use them at the moment. The only AA that I got right now is Harm Touch. We're at Harm Touch rank 10 here at 50. We got that at 46, I guess. It does 8,800 damage. It does 2,500 if Gates of Discord is not so early. early TLPs, it's only doing that, but if it's late TLP after Discord, it's much more damage. And then it does 2,500 damage overtime after that. It's a 1 hour reuse that eventually gets down to a little bit more reasonable, but definitely something we want. It's, like you're in trouble, you pop that, you probably kill something right away. Huge damage boost from the Shadowknight with that. And then I have two bandolier buttons here. So one-handed shield if I need to be more tankier, and two-hand if I want to actually do some really nice damage. If we look here, I was doing with two-hander, I'm hitting about 253, 231. Just depends. 252, 136, 72. Just depends on the mob. I believe at this point we should have triple attack, right? Sort of like that. So we might not have triple attack yet. Thought we got it sooner, but I guess not. At some point, I think around maybe around 60, then I guess we're gonna get triple attack, which will make the two-hander do even more damage. But we do have double attack and stuff right now. If we look at, maybe we have to buy one of these AAs to get it. One of these was specific to getting more attacks out of that. Let's see here. And then over here, I just have clickies for different illusions. Like this is the guise of the Deceiver, turns you into a Dark Elf. You can get this on TLPs day 1. You can also get it from the casino with golden tickets that you buy from the loyalty merchant in modern day Everquest. So it's that, and then I have an AON, Amulet of Necropotence, just turns me into a skeleton. I had these for early on when I didn't have Shrink on the Shaman. It just makes it easier to do that. Then I have a invite group button. I'll push this. Everybody gets invited to the group, and then I hit follow on all of them, and then they invite him, and that causes them to join the group. It's fantastic. It's very fantastic. And then some button, I don't even know what it is, just from the copied UI. All right, so that is all of the hotbar spells extended target. Now let's talk a little about big gear, right? So if you're on a live server, Defiant is the best option. I think at 50 you can get this ornate Defiant. Flawed Defiant is a little bit better. This character was an accelerated start series, so he's got raid gear from Velius in all his slots. But around Flawed and Intricate, which should be just start dropping at the 55 plus mobs, we'll replace all of that gear with that. But you can see here the ornate Defiant stuff is pretty good, and you should be wearing all the Defiant stuff you can get a hold of while you're leveling on live. See here, so Flawed. You can see here, here's Flawed, I think is the next tier. Yeah, like let's look at these compare, right? Come on, give me, here we go. So I have a chestplate of Vindication, which is a Velis raid item, but Flawed, which is the next, next tier here of Defiant, is a better item. So I would, if I got this to drop or I decide to buy one, it is a better item, and I would switch to it. Now I would lose 6 attack and whatnot, but I would gain 2 mana regen and 2 HP regens. And plus a little, 6 hit points and some mana. It's all, the Defiant stuff is all around better in every case and most chances, but it doesn't give you those stats at level 1, whereas the Velius raid gear does not have any kind of requirements on it like that. So you're going to want that. Now, tanking and sword wise, you're going to want a sword and shield, or a one-hander and a shield, whatever you can get a hold of. The Flawed Defiant stuff is going to be pretty good when it comes to that. And then a two-hander for DPS to just do more damage. sometimes you don't need the extra the AC you get from a shield, so it really just depends on what you're doing. I switch between them as needed. Like if I got like 10 mobs in camp, I'm probably gonna switch to the one-hander and shield just to make it a little bit easier on my shaman, but at the same time it might not matter because I'm doing so much more damage than that. So it just depends. Like if we look here, if we go to one-handed shield, click on this. This is a level 50 report statistics. This is a level 50 combat dummy with 110 AC. I don't know. I can like increase some stats and stuff here and change the body type, but for the most part, you can see here, I'm hitting for hundreds, 60s, 98. They're pretty average hits. But then if I switch to the two-hander here, and we start getting some hits out of this, like 209, so it's like almost double the damage on some hits, right? And since I'm an ogre when I am not in illusion form, if I go out of here, right? So you can see there he does bashes via the slam ability that the large races get. So large races are ogre, troll, barbarian, and what's the other one? Vashir, I think. Now, I think out of those, only ogre and troll can be Shadowknights, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think barbarians or Vashir can do that. So there's a benefit there to being that I have auto skill set to bash, which is our only ability, really. Like it says bash or slam, but I did bash because at level 1 I had a shield, and so I didn't even think about doing slam. But it automatically slams for me, so it's kind of nice. At 59, I believe it is, we get two-handed bash. What is it called? Maybe it's archetype. I think maybe it's improved bash here. Yeah, so at 59 we'll get improved bash, would allow us to just do that normally. So the smaller races like Ixar, Gnome, Erudite, Human, all that, they will be able to bash with a two-hander, but ogres kind of can do it from level 1 because they're the better choice. I specifically went ogre on this character because on Teak I made a Ixar Shadowknight, and I was being stunned non-stop, and I hated it so much. You try to cast a spell, you get stunned. Try to do anything, you get stunned. Now, on live, it is not as big a deal, right? Eventually, where is it at? There is an AA here. Will give you the same immunity that the ogre gets. Or is it? It's like stalwart defense or something like that. I'm just not seeing it right now. At least that's what it's called on the paladin. It's somewhere in here. I don't know. Not worth looking for it, I guess. Make sure they sorted by name, right? Shield block, shield flash, steadfast will. I think that's it. Yeah. So steadfast will. It's got it comes in at 66. Starts giving us chances to not be stunned from any angle. So even from behind, the ogres don't even have that. So it kind of benefits ogres too, because the ogres will then stop getting stunned from behind. But you see here, the AA goes up, 8 ranks until you are completely immune to physical stuns. You still get stunned by spells, which if you fight any wizards, you'll notice that's annoying too. But the race choice doesn't matter as much on live. I wanted ogre, so at the end of the day, that's what I wanted. So that's all that, and I believe that's everything. If there's any questions or comments, please let me know, and I will try my best to answer those. We will make another one at 55, showing whatever we gain at 55, and then again at 60. And I'll try to do every 5 levels, all the way to 125 for all these classes, just so that if you have any questions or comments during that time, you can, find, easy way to do it. I know there's not a lot of resources on how to play some of these classes at the higher levels. I know I get a lot of questions about it, so hopefully this helps. But thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.